Rivera's Martial Arts Academy was a serious place. The walls displayed championship trophies, black belts framed in honor, photos of Master Carlos Rivera with various celebrities and athletes. Students trained hard, competed nationally, and treated the dojo with the reverence of a temple, which is why everyone turned to stare when the woman walked in wearing a faded gray t-shirt, yoga pants, and sneakers that had seen better days. She looked completely out of place among the students in crisp white GIs, the competitive fighters warming up, the black belts who moved with lethal precision. She walked up to the front desk, her ponytail slightly messy, looking nervous. "Hi, I'd like to sign up for a trial class." Her voice was quiet, almost apologetic. The receptionist smiled professionally. "Of course. Let me get you some paperwork. Have you trained in martial arts before?" "No, never. But I thought I'd like to learn self-defense for my daughter, so I can teach her." Master Rivera emerged from his office, his black belt worn and frayed from decades of use. At 55, he was a legend in the martial arts community, three-time national champion, renowned instructor, a man who dedicated his life to the discipline. "A trial class is perfect," he said kindly. "We have a beginner's session starting in 15 minutes. You can observe, get a feel for whether this is right for you." "Thank you." She filled out paperwork. Her name was Sarah Mitchell, age 32, occupation, grocery store clerk. The emergency contact was her daughter, Emily, age 10. As Sarah waited nervously on the sidelines, the advanced class finished up. Among them was Derek Chen, 26, black belt, current state champion in his weight class. He was talented, skilled, and unfortunately, had an ego the size of the trophies he'd won. "Check out the new recruit," Derek said to his training partner, loud enough for others to hear. "Think she knows martial arts isn't like those cardio kickboxing classes?" His friend laughed. "Give her a break, man. Everyone starts somewhere." "Yeah, but most people have some idea what they're getting into." Derek looked at Sarah, who was clearly trying to appear invisible. "Hey, new girl, Sarah, right?" Sarah looked up, startled. "Yes? You ever throw a punch before?" "Not really. That's why I'm here. To learn." Derek grinned, the kind of smile that had no kindness in it. "Tell you what, how about a demonstration? I'll show you what real martial arts looks like. We'll have a friendly sparring match just for fun. Show you what you'll be able to do once you train for, about 10 years. The other students shifted uncomfortably. Master Rivera stepped forward. "Derek, that's not appropriate. She's not even registered yet, let alone trained." "Come on, Master. Just a light demonstration. I'll go easy. It'll be educational." Sarah stood up slowly. "It's okay. I don't mind." "Sarah, you don't have to," Master Rivera began. "Really, it's fine. I'd like to see what I'm getting into." Something in her voice was different now. Calmer. More certain. Derek's grin widened. "That's the spirit. Don't worry, I'll be gentle." They moved to the center of the mat, the entire gym watching now. This was going to be a disaster, everyone thought. Some guy showing off against a complete beginner. Master Rivera looked like he wanted to stop it, but Sarah had agreed. Derek bowed mockingly. Sarah returned it, proper and formal. "Okay, just try to throw a punch or kick," Derek said, his stance relaxed, confident. "I'll show you what real defense looks like." "Actually," Sarah said quietly, "why don't you attack first? Show me what I should learn to defend against. You sure? I don't want to scare you off on your first day. I'm sure." Derek shrugged, moved in with a controlled punch, fast, but nothing like what he'd use in actual competition. Showing off, but not actually trying to hurt her. What happened next took less than 3 seconds. Sarah's hand moved in a blur, redirecting Derek's punch with a textbook-perfect deflection. Before he could recover, she'd stepped inside his guard, swept his front leg, and had him on the mat with a joint lock that could dislocate his shoulder if she applied pressure. Complete silence filled the gym. Sarah released him immediately, stepped back, and bowed. "Like that?" Derek scrambled to his feet, his face red with humiliation and shock. "What the? How did you—" Master Rivera was staring at Sarah with a completely different expression now. Recognition, respect. That was Krav Maga, military-level technique. And that sweep was straight from judo competition form. Who trained you? Sarah's expression was carefully neutral. I trained for 12 years, started when I was 16, competed nationally in multiple disciplines until I was 24. Then I stopped. Why? The question came from one of the students. I had a daughter. I was young, single, working 2 jobs, training fell away. I haven't been in a dojo in 8 years. She looked at Derek, who was still processing what had happened. I came here today because my daughter asked me to teach her self-defense. I told her I didn't remember how, that I'd lost it. She said, "Maybe you just need to remember, Mom." So I'm here, not as a beginner, as someone trying to find something I left behind. Derek found his voice. You completely punked me. No, you assumed I didn't know anything because I don't look like I belong here. That's on you. Her voice wasn't angry, just matter of fact. In my experience, the people who look most dangerous usually aren't. The real threats are the ones nobody notices until it's too late. Master Rivera laughed, a genuine, delighted sound. Sarah Mitchell. Why does that name sound familiar? Probably doesn't. I competed under my maiden name, Sarah Brennan. Sarah Brennan. Master Rivera's eyes widened. You won the National Women's Division in 2014. You were incredible. Everyone thought you'd go professional. Then you disappeared. I got pregnant. My boyfriend left. I had choices to make. Sarah shrugged. I chose my daughter. No regrets. But you miss it, every day. Sarah's voice cracked slightly, every single day. But missing something and being able to afford it are 2 different things. Training here costs $200 a month. I make $15 an hour at the grocery store. Do the math. The gym was silent again, but different now. Not watching a spectacle, but actually listening. Master Rivera made a decision. You train here for free. In exchange, you help me teach. The beginners especially, they need to see someone who doesn't fit the stereotype, who proves that martial arts isn't about looking the part. Master Rivera, I can't accept charity. It's not charity, it's an investment. You have skills I can't teach, real-world experience, competition-level technique, and clearly, you have heart. Plus, Derek here needs to be taken down a peg regularly, and I'm getting too old to do it myself. The gym erupted in laughter. Derek had the grace to look embarrassed. Fair. I was a jerk. I'm sorry, Sarah. That was disrespectful. Apology accepted. But next time, don't assume the quiet woman in the corner doesn't know how to break your arm in 3 places. Noted. Sarah started training that day, not in the beginner class. Master Rivera had her work with the advanced students, where she could shake off the rust and remember the person she'd been. She was slower than she used to be, not as flexible, carrying the physical toll of 8 years working on her feet and sleeping in short shifts between jobs. But the muscle memory was there, the instincts, the love of movement, of discipline, of pushing herself. You're really good, one of the younger female students said after class. How did you get so good? Practice, thousands of hours of practice, and honestly, anger. I started training after my stepfather hit my mother. I was 16, helpless, furious. Martial arts gave me control when everything else was chaos. Did you ever have to use it? Like for real? Twice. Once when a guy tried to grab me in a parking lot. Once when someone broke into my apartment. Both times my training kept me and my daughter safe. That's why it matters. Not for tournaments or trophies. For the moment when you need to protect yourself or someone you love over the following months. Sarah became an integral part of the dojo. She taught beginners with patience and humor. She sparred with advanced students, pushing them to be better. She brought Emily to classes, and Master Rivera taught the 10-year-old with the same seriousness he showed adult students. And Derek? He became Sarah's most dedicated training partner. You're helping me more than you know, he admitted one evening after a particularly grueling session. I've been coasting on natural talent, but you're teaching me technique I never learned. Humility I definitely never learned. You're a good fighter, Derek. You just needed to remember that the belt isn't about showing off. It's about constant improvement. Master Rivera says the same thing. Master Rivera is wise. Listen to him. 6 months after that first day, the dojo hosted a regional tournament. Master Rivera encouraged Sarah to compete. Just exhibition matches, nothing official. I can't afford the registration fees, Sarah said. Already covered. Consider it a bonus for all the teaching you've done. Sarah competed in the women's division, 30-plus age bracket. She was rusty, not as fast as she'd been, facing opponents who'd been training continuously while she'd been working grocery checkout. She won anyway. Not all her matches. She lost in the semifinals to a woman 5 years younger with more recent competition experience. But she fought with grace and skill that had people asking who she was, where she trained, whether she'd consider coaching. In the audience, Emily cheered louder than anyone. That's my mom. That's my mom. After the tournament, Master Rivera made an announcement to the dojo. 8 months ago, a woman walked in here looking lost and nervous. One of our black belts, who will remain nameless but knows who he is, challenged her as a joke. What he learned, what we all learned, is that you can't judge ability by appearance, that strength comes in unexpected packages, that the woman working at the grocery store to feed her daughter might be the most dangerous person in the room. He gestured to Sarah. Sarah Mitchell has been teaching our beginners, training with our advanced students, and reminding all of us why we started martial arts in the first place. Not for ego, not for show, but for discipline, growth, and the ability to protect what matters. Effective immediately, Sarah is our new head instructor for women's self-defense programs. Paid position, full benefits, flexible hours around her daughter's schedule. Sarah stared at him, tears in her eyes. Master Rivera, you earned this. Every bit of it. And honestly, you're better at teaching the fundamentals than I am. You remember what it's like to be scared, to feel powerless, to need this skill for survival rather than sport. That's what our students need. The gym erupted in applause. Emily ran onto the mat and hugged her mother. Derek bowed formally, his respect genuine now. Thank you, Sarah said to Master Rivera quietly. You gave me back something I thought was gone forever. You gave it back to yourself. I just provided the mat. 2 years later, Sarah's women's self-defense program was the most popular offering at Rivera's Martial Arts Academy. She'd helped dozens of women find their strength, taught countless students that power wasn't about intimidation. It was about confidence, skill, and the willingness to defend yourself when necessary. Derek had become a friend, training partner, and occasionally a babysitter for Emily when Sarah had late classes. He'd grown from an arrogant champion into a thoughtful teacher, often crediting Sarah with showing him what martial arts really meant. I used to think being the best fighter made me the best martial artist, he told a group of beginners. Then a grocery store clerk took me down in 3 seconds and taught me that real strength is about character, not championship belts. Don't be like I was. Be like Sarah, skilled, humble, willing to help others grow. Sarah smiled from across the gym. She'd rebuilt her life on these mats, found her strength again, shown her daughter that you could be both soft and strong, both gentle and dangerous, both ordinary and extraordinary. All because a cocky black belt had challenged her as a joke and learned that the quiet woman in the corner could break him without breaking a sweat. Sometimes the best lessons come from underestimating the right person. Sometimes the strongest people are the ones who don't need to prove it. And sometimes the woman in the gray t-shirt and messy ponytail is exactly the person who'll remind you that respect is earned through character, not just skill. Derek learned that lesson on the mat. The whole gym learned it watching. If this story resonated with you, please like and share it with someone who knows that strength comes in unexpected forms. Subscribe for more stories about rediscovering yourself and proving that you're more than people assume. And comment about a time when you or someone you know surprised everyone with hidden capabilities. Those moments of revelation are powerful.